Let's see what's going on in here. Ooh, what's this? Ooh, I wonder what this could be. This is my old and faithful battery bank. And this is my little off-grid solar power system here. That thing is my inverter. And this is probably the last time that these batteries and this shelf will be powering the lights in here. Because I have got something very exciting going on. You see. Whoops. This is my new battery shelf or battery rack, or what's going to be my new battery rack. This thing is built to withstand about 1000 kilograms worth of battery. As you can see, this thing is no joke. It has got proper beams all around, a proper frame, and it's got these planks screwed on all the way around to give it even more support and even more rigidity. You can place whatever you want on here. This thing is never going to budge. Because something kind of exciting has happened. So let's go have a look at that. Lights on. And what do we have here? Well, this is a Sonnenschein A612150. I've only got one, but this is a 150 amp hour proper industrial battery. It is a gel type battery, and if you don't know anything about Sonnenschein makes possibly the best batteries in the whole world. These batteries are rated for an 18-year lifespan with 80% capacity remaining after those 18 years. That is crazy. And I know for a fact that they can outlive that easily if you treat them right. So this is going to replace all those old shitty batteries. This thing is brand new, right out of the factory. And I've only got one right now. However, I may get more of these, and that is why I built the shelf so big, you see. There's a reason behind that, not only because I may want to use it to store other things for the time being. And here's a shitty car battery, whoops, there goes that. I'm just doing an experiment with this battery. I'm reversing the polarity on it because I want to see what happens, and it's going quite well actually. Haven't done a capacity measurement yet because it's not yet done. These clips are a bit too small really. Let's see if we can squeeze them into the lead to try and make them bite a bit better maybe. Let's see, how is it doing voltage wise right now? 14 to 1. Okay, is there somewhere good you can sit? Not on top of the battery, please. See, 14.5 volts. Let's turn it down a little bit. Yeah, 14.4, that's a bit better. So yeah, this is just an experiment. We don't care about that right now at all. However, This is gonna be absolutely amazing. I look forward to putting this into service a lot. And one thing that I love so incredibly much about Sonnenschein is the documentation they provide. It is probably the best battery documentation ever. And these batteries are special in so many ways. These are not your typical, gel cell lead acid batteries. These have a completely different electrolyte solution. They contain a mixture of sulfuric acid and phosphoric acid. I don't know. I could be very wrong, so don't judge me right now. It is late in the evening and I just wanted to make a quick little update video about something cool. Um, where was I? But yeah, these are not your typical battery. These resist sulfation and stuff like no tomorrow, and they have extremely low self-discharge and other things. These batteries are, yeah, the best Baladi batteries in the whole world. And they use tubular plates as well. If you don't know what that is, just Google it. So it's a gel cell with tubular plates and a completely different electrolyte solution from what you would be used to seeing. These batteries are amazing and they are so underrated. It's rated for 150 amp hours, but I know this thing will probably do upwards of 180 amp hours because these are rated so conservatively. These are wonderful batteries in all ways. Let's go back out to the off-grid house. And the reason I built this into such a large form factor is this precisely takes 4 of these batteries. If you place them like this, you can fit exactly 4 of them here. And you can fit 4 on top as well if you want. So it can technically take 8 batteries, although I was thinking to use the top side for, my inverter and some stuff like that. So 4 batteries on the bottom there, and this thing is so strong. It can probably handle 1,000 kilograms even on top here. It's absolutely wonderful. You can see my construction work. It's really, really good, and strong beams. Here is a cross brace. This is supposed to be the back side against the wall. It's sitting the wrong way, unfortunately, but you get the idea. Just look at my framework and everything. And everything is bolted with really long and thick screws, just holding everything together. And then these 25mm planks are on the outside, providing stiffness so it doesn't bow or anything like that. This thing is gonna be incredible. Compared to this old piece of crap, which is already severely overloaded with these crappy old car batteries that barely weigh anything. But yeah, it's gonna be an amazing upgrade, the Sonnenschein battery. So yeah, I decided to go big and build an overkill size battery shelf because I am probably going to fall crazy in love with that battery and want more of them. And if that happens, I can easily take up to 4 batteries there in the bottom and 4 on top. So, yeah, now I am prepared for the future. And in the meantime, my single battery will sit there just fine. So I've got all the space in the world. So yeah, we're gonna rip all of this out. This old shelf is gonna go. Here are some old dead batteries, which are just gonna go to the scrap yard. And I'll get a little bit of cash for them, maybe. Uh, these old batteries, this one is a piece of crap. It has high internal resistance, not a lot of capacity. This one is really crappy. As you can see, I've drilled holes into it so I can add water to it. Um, it's very old, mediocre. I think it's like 6 or 7 years old at this point. This is about 8 years old, but it still performs okay, so I might take this and put it into my van right now since the battery in my van accidentally died. So I might save this one, but I think I'm going to get rid of these, to be honest, because they are just huge chunks of lead that don't really do a whole lot anymore. So yeah, I'm gonna save that one, but those are gonna go. This crappy shelf is gonna go, and we're gonna also do some rewiring because the inverter is not being measured by this current meter right now. But I realized that this current meter just measures on the negative side of the cables or on the negative side of its circuit. So this is the, let's see, this is the main negative for all the 12 volt loads. It's just a 10 square because there's not that much 12 volt loads. So that one goes up through that current shunt and through the main breaker here. So what I was thinking about doing is bringing the negative of the inverter up also through that current shunt and then running another wire, a 35 square wire, down to the negative of the battery. So that way that will bypass the circuit breaker because that induces a lot of voltage drop. And I will just have a second ground cable for the inverter. It will work fine because it doesn't really matter if this breaks the ground or not to the inverter. That is really just there so I can shut the 12 volt side off nice and easily. And yeah, so we're gonna do a few of those things. I got myself a lot of these, all different sizes. I got a proper crimp tool and everything, and I've got some salvaged wire that we can use. Unfortunately, ground colored, so I'm going to misuse the colors a little bit, but who cares? It's not like I'm following any sort of standards here anyways. This is just a little hobby thing. It doesn't really matter all that much. But yeah, I am excited to get this out of here and put my new battery shelf in its place. We're gonna try and find some bricks so we can build a little foundation so it doesn't stand directly on these bricks because yeah, you can see what's sort of happening here. If you look closely, you can see there's all kinds of dirt and stuff accumulating here, and I don't really understand why, but that seems to happen, and yeah, this is not in that great shape anymore. It's probably pretty rotten towards this end. I haven't checked, but I would imagine it is, and you can see just all this discoloration. That's actually from battery acid leaking out from old batteries that I've had. Yeah, you can see what it does. Look at this, all these random screws in it. You can see here what's happening here. It's just corroding these old terminals that have been laying here forever. There is basically acid all over this, you know, shelf. You can see what happens to all the screws and everything. It's just rotting. So yeah, this thing is losing more and more structural integrity every day. I'm honestly surprised that it hasn't collapsed yet, because if you have a look here, you can see just how much, oh, maybe you can't on the camera, but you can kind of see how much it's just bowing down like that. So yeah, this thing is on its way out, I can tell you that. But yeah, originally I didn't have that much weight or anything on it. I just had some crappy batteries and that was it. But yeah, now I have a lot more solar power than I've ever had. So now I want to try and, you know, actually put it to a little bit of use. So this space has become a little workshop. As you can see, I'm working on a little generator engine here that needs some love and care. The connecting rod bearing has gone out on it, so I'm waiting for some parts for that. So I've made this into a little electronics slash smaller mechanical workshop kind of place, and it's very enjoyable. And I've got great lighting in here, and yeah, the lighting is mainly what the power is gonna be for. And I've also got an old computer out here, which actually still works quite well. I treated it with WD-40, actually took all the RAMs and all the cards out, and I sprayed all the connectors and everything with WD-40, and that has kept that thing working. And it gets extremely moist and everything out here. That thing just keeps on going. It doesn't want to die. It's one of those old computers that just, it works. But yeah, it's a Pentium 3. It can't really do a whole lot by today's standards, but it's enough to browse forums and pictures and stuff on the internet. It's actually got a wireless network card, so I can just hook internet from my phone up to it really easily. I've got that old 12-volt monitor here, which works really well actually. So I've got everything you could ever want out here, really. And one thing I have been thinking about doing is building a little compartment here in this table. It goes down maybe that far, so I can put a computer in there, a more modern computer, and then I can actually use this to host a little game server completely for free. That would be so cool. Oh yeah, there's a light here too. I forgot that. You can turn that on if you'd like. It's got a fairly worn out tube in it, but it works. Provides a little bit of field light here over the bench. But yeah, this battery bank is powering the lights in here probably for the last time now. I'm probably not gonna rip the battery bank out. I'm not gonna do it tonight, obviously, but I was thinking about ripping it out tomorrow, but it turns out there's some other things going on tomorrow, so it's not gonna happen tomorrow. But maybe on Sunday I will rip this battery bank out and put a new shelf into place and start making new wires and stuff like that. Because, yeah, nothing is gonna work out the way it is right now. But that's not a problem. We'll be able to fix it all. So, yeah, got some fun stuff going on. I look forward to messing around with this stuff. It's been a while. It's been a really long time. And I've got this charge controller now. This is a Victron Energy. I really like it actually. Together with this Bluetooth module, you can adjust every parameter of this thing. You can set the charge voltage, the float voltage, absorption voltage, bulk charge voltage, equalization voltage. You can set how long it should equalize whenever it does it, and you can schedule the equalize and temperature compensation, everything. This thing is a really good charge controller, and it is a must to have one of these when you're gonna run a Sonnenschein battery system, because the Sonnenschein batteries are very picky about the float voltage and the bulk charge voltage. You do not want to just apply 14.4 volts and random voltages to them, because they will get damaged. The data sheets say exactly what voltage you should charge at. There are graphs and data for everything, so you don't need to guess. And it is extremely important that you follow that. And the Sonnenscheins actually take a very low voltage compared to what you may be used to. So do not use a crappy charge controller that doesn't have good voltage control, because you will destroy the Sonnenschein battery very quickly if you do. Instead of getting, 20 years out of it like you should, you're only going to get a few years out of it if you mischarge it. It is very important that you treat your batteries right. And this is actually one of the cheapest options for charge controllers that have those functionalities. And I've been playing around with these old batteries and different settings, and I've learned the quirks and everything of this charger. The main complaint that I have is that the voltage adjustment for the float voltage and bulk voltage seem to be a little off. So you need to adjust it to 13.5 volts in order for it to give you 13.6 on the batteries. There's like a zero point 0.1 volt error for some reason. So whenever you set your voltages, just beware and always double check with a volt multimeter that you trust to see what voltage it's actually putting out so that you're not overcharging or undercharging your battery, because the software is not super accurate. But that's really the only complaint I have. Another cool feature is that this thing has got a tail current setting, which means because the Sonnenschein batteries prefer to, have a bit higher voltage, 14.1 or so, to about, and of course it all depends on temperature, but at 20 degrees Celsius, 14.1 volts up to about 80% state of charge, and then you want to drop the voltage to 13.5 ish and keep it there for the remaining of the charge. That is where the tail current comes in on these things. You adjust the tail current and it will do that for you basically as the battery starts to get more and more saturated. So I'm gonna have to play around with that setting because this thing doesn't have fancy graphs or anything that you can just adjust parameters that are at some, you know, other parameters settings. So it's a bit it's a bit clunky to adjust in that sense. You don't have fancy graphs where you can draw your whole charge graph, so you have to experiment a little bit. But right now, this thing is adjusted pretty close to what the Sonnenschein battery will want. The only thing that I will have to change is I will have to adjust my voltages down because I've pushed them pretty high on these old crappy batteries because let's face it, who cares if these die? I don't anymore. So right now it's set to like 14.5 volts and 13.7 or something float voltage, which is way too high for the Sonnenschein. You definitely don't want to use that high voltage on those batteries. So yeah, a lot of interesting stuff going on here. And yeah, it's very nice and bright in here. I love these old fluorescent lamps. There's a special charm to having some fluorescence, and I'll be able to keep these going for a very long time. These tubes in them right now are from about 1977, if I'm reading the date code correct, and they're still working just fine. And I've got a whole box of new tubes sitting down there, so I can keep these alive forever. I've got a whole box of electronic starters as well. Right now I'm obviously using traditional starters, but I've got everything to make these last a really long time. So yeah, I'm excited, and I think this is gonna be one heck of a success. So yeah, stay tuned for battery videos, I guess. And I think this is a pretty good place to stop this video, and I will make another video whenever I go to tear all this apart. So yeah, this battery bank is probably gonna see its last cycle right now. And it's not gonna be a very deep one at that, because I'm about to shut the lights off and turn the inverter off. So let's turn the lights off and let's go over here and turn the inverter off. There we go. It is off. So now these things can charge tomorrow if there's enough sunlight, which I I'm very sure they will be. These solar panels, they're pushing some serious power right now. I've got two panels there, two panels on top, on my big ass cradle thing. I've got three little ones there, so I got I got a bit of power input actually. I'm fairly impressed by what these panels can do. Even in cloudy weather, I get more than enough to keep the batteries at a very healthy charge level, even not after I've been using power. So that's very nice. Um, but yeah, I'm excited to get this out of here and get all this horrible grass and everything taken care of. This place used to grow a lot more grass than it does now. I don't really know what I've done, but yeah, I got a little bit of burn flowers growing here by the bench, but they're no big deal really. Just wear gloves and remove them. There's really not all that much grass growing in here right now. There's usually a lot more. A lot. I don't know what I've done, but I must have done something right because yeah, it's not growing very well anymore. And I don't know what I've done because I haven't done anything. And a lot of crap used to go between these tiles and everything, but that has completely stopped. And I do not understand why. I haven't done a thing. I haven't applied any sort of treatment or anything because I walk barefoot in here. I don't want to poison myself or nature or anything for that matter. So I really don't know what I've done that has stopped the grass from growing. Maybe it's just too dry. That's my only guess. And that's really good. But yeah, this is all gonna go bye bye. And we're gonna replace with Sonnenschein. I am excited. I am very excited indeed.